What is up? Derek, 13 Series Engineering here, and today we are reinventing the wheel. Just kidding, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we are reinventing a very common web input tool, and that is select boxes. Select boxes, if you don't know, came out in like 1995. I think it was HTML 2.0. A brief history of HTML, blah, blah, blah. What did HTML 2.0 add? I'm pretty sure it was select. I googled this one time. Anyways, um, selects are like the bane of my existence. If you use like Material or I think like Apollo might have one, but you know different front end TypeScript frameworks, they have like kind of their own select thing, and browsers have and operating systems have like got better at rendering things over the years as far as the options part goes, but there's not a whole lot of great choices. Like there's not a lot of things we can do. So basically today I'm just going to show you guys how we have this simple form here, just some UI elements already, just using Bootstrap. But we are going to go ahead and we're going to make a select box using Bootstrap's drop-down component, and we're also going to be using Symfony Live components to do this, and it's going to look a heck of a lot better. I know there's select2 and multi-select out there, which are like jQuery libraries. I think it's called select2, right? But that's basically why this was made. Select2 is because um, the select boxes are just like the worst, and you know, buttons and input, and there's a lot of things we can do to, you know, mess with them on hover. But with like select, you can really only style this outer part of the select box, and there's more things I could add to make this look, you know, better. And it's not like that horrible, but it's just not. We're just kind of limited. This is essentially like the limit of what we can do, other than, you know, there's no caret here. We can add like a caret and an animation for that or something. But if you have a select box like of states, it will just like take up the whole screen, you know, with like 50 states. And so there's just, you know, you just don't have a lot of control. So the first thing we're going to do, and this is like basically just step-by-step how to, this choice type that we're using in the Symfony form builder, we're actually going to replace this with a hidden type. So we're going to get rid of this. We're going to make it a hidden type. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that. And Live Components has some really cool stuff that, well, it has a really cool thing that I have to import this, yeah, that I think is super cool. I guess the label doesn't really matter. Or really any of this stuff. Cool. So now this should be like bye-bye. Except that label's there. That's weird. What are you? And why are you here? It's always something, right? And what is going on with that? Oh, because I'm actually like rendering the site. Not supposed to do that. When you have a hidden type Symfony form dealio, you shouldn't actually. Here, we want to do like form row and put it like just at the end of the form. Cool. Sweet. And we can get rid of that too. There we go. Fixed. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a live component. We have this hidden type. This is going to get our value from our new select, which is really a Bootstrap dropdown. That's the game plan. The Bootstrap dropdown changes the name of changes the value for that hidden input, and that's what we use. And that dropdown will also change the button inner HTML, so we know what's selected, and we'll add an active class. So that's like 3 things that have to happen. So cool, let's get to it. Symfony console, make Twig. I think that's a dash. Or is it, maybe it's just, no, it's Maybe that's why, because I spelled it with a T. Symfony's spelled with two Y's. Come on. There we go. Okay. What are we going to call this? Select component? Yeah, because we're going to make this reusable. Yes, it's live. Cool. Okay. And we're going to use our awesome new syntax to render it. Twig select component. And we are going to pass it a bunch of stuff. But for right now, we just need to worry about the markup. That should have also, yeah, there we go. I gotta tell you, once you get it, at first it's kind of like, you know what? Live components, like, I might kind of just rather want to write a stimulus controller, but once you get used to it, it is like way better. Way better. And here's actually what we're gonna do, which is super cool, is we can render that hidden input inside of the inside of a Symfony component. So if you look at, I don't know if it's in this or in live components, but it basically shows you, there's a cool way to do this. Yeah, like this. Okay. Instead of passing a message, you can pass these content blocks that just go in there. And they just get rendered out like blah, like whatever. So we can pass like that hidden input inside of the component if we want to. We don't necessarily have to do that for what we're doing, but why not? Keep it all self-contained, keep it in one place. That way we know where stuff goes. Cool, okay. So our stuff is gonna go there. And you know what? We might want to, we are going to need to access that ID of that hidden input somehow. We might actually want to do something a little different, like, well, we can just, I'm not exactly sure yet, but we could just go and, yeah, anyways, we can just go and basically we're going to access the value of that hidden input, you know, via via a variable. That's just going to get rendered. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first thing is we got that hidden component in there, and that's going to change just a little bit, but Bootstrap dropdowns basically just follow buttons. I want this to be primary and choose insurance or payout of pocket. And then, cool. The fun part of this is that we can style all this stuff that we couldn't style before. So basically, you know what I really want is a divider. And you know, in a dropdown, like you could have a video playing in it. You can have literally, you can have literally like anything that you want playing, playing inside of, or not playing, but you can have any markup you want inside of the dropdown menu, which is super cool. So this is going to be like, we need to pass our data in as an array, and we could do this in PHP and just pass an array, or we could also just do we could just do it all in Twig. Why not? Why not? I think we're going to do it all in Twig. Let's see what Stack Overflow says about creating arrays. I think, yeah. You can create arrays in Twig, but Yeah. It kind of looks more like JSON. This is the syntax I'm familiar with. And this is kind of what we want to end up doing. Is this. And in our sign-up form here, we're going to have options. That's going to be a variable. And then here's an array of our stuff. Cool. Now we need to add options in this as a live prop. I still really can't, excuse me, remember a lot of syntax stuff, so I have to go copy it because live components are still kind of new to me. We're not really doing any computed things. Well, we will be because what we're gonna be doing is data binding. We also need, oh, that's an array. Ooh, we are probably gonna have some interesting stuff happen here with serialization because live components can do some weird things with serialization. So, okay, I got a default option, and that's going to go here. Like that. Cool. I'm going to break these all on a different line. Yeah, nice. Okay. And options. What do I really want to put here? Like the key of this. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's just make sure nothing's broken. Yeah. Oh. Unhappy with this. So because of that. Didn't seem to like that. Oh, you know what? That might be how we want to do things instead. Nope. We probably actually want to just create an array and then pass it in. That's probably the only way it's going to take this. Which that's too bad because, well, we could just set it in PHP and that'd be easiest. Yeah, why not? So if we go to our controller, we are just going to go like options array. You know, where would be a better place to put this? Maybe someplace like in the form or something that gets rendered out. I don't know. I bet there's someplace in the form builder that you can go and just add like some random array and then just pick it out somehow later. Or you could keep the select in there and then kind of just iterate through that part of it because that's going to come to Twig. The form's going to come to Twig like as an array, so you can access that stuff and iterate on it. But then it's going to render the select. It's just a mess, so we'll just do this. The first index, we're going to have... So we're going to have some weird nesting here, and this would probably be better as an object. And we might get into trouble if we don't with serialization with this, but let's just try this. We're going to have heading is going to be, for this one, we're going to have insurance. For this one, we're going to have pay out of pocket. And then we're gonna have options, and like this would kind of be better as a doctrine entity, I guess, because then something could be there that's like unexpected or not set. So this can always be dangerous, but we need an option and a value. So this one, or a label and a value. So label is pay out. I want this one to actually say other. Pay out of pocket. Then this is like kind of some old school pay out of pocket. This is definitely some old school stuff right here. It might just be better to make like an object out of this because it is something we're going to reuse all the time. That's something that I'm probably going to want to do down the road. But just for now, like, yeah, we're going to make this a PHP class and we're going to make it a doctrine entity, not using a database. But now, as you can see, we have like an object and a sub-object and like a bunch of different stuff. So we have like a pretty advanced nested structure in like 2 seconds. And this is just going to do better. You know, as a this is gonna just be way better as like an actual object. But for the sake of time, since we're already like basically done with this, we're just gonna keep going. Florida, Medicaid, and these are basically like the choices here. You know, that the options, like the name and value for what you would have in your, in your select. I know I need Aetna and cool. All right. Now we have our options array, and let's see if we can pass it in. I'm a little bit skeptical that this is actually gonna work without throwing a serialization fit that we're gonna have to figure out, but we'll see. The point is, like, this array I just made, like, we can just make that in as a, oh my gosh, where is it? I got too many things open. We could just make this array like in Twig, essentially, instead of doing it here in PHP, and it'll kind of be the same thing, but this at least is like, you know, what do you call it? It's just like one way to do it, I guess. Okay, let's see what we got now. Is uninitialize the oh, the type property. Right. There is no type property because we got rid of it. Public array options. And I don't like that we just called it options. Oh, no, we did call it. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Header. Yep. Spelling stuff would help. Again, this is a reason why you should use a class, but there we go. So obviously there's no options in there, but we can go and that's the cool thing about this. We can add like dropdown styles. And we can add awesome styles to this stuff. We can make this all li item heading style, and then we're gonna have a nested loop here for what do we call those? Options. For that, God, that's a bad name already. For option and option dot options. Oh man, that's so bad. Choice. I'm gonna call that choice. Choices. That's a little less confusing. Anyways, yikes. Cool. All right. These are going to be buttons. BTN. I don't know. We're going to get to that in a minute. And those are going to be live action buttons as well. This one is going to be item choice style. All right, so now we need to add both of these guys, 3 of them actually. But this is a really good way to make components, and I don't always do this. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like this stuff is just not gonna, you know, this isn't really gonna be used a whole lot what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna make it as modular as a lot of times as you would. But that's not what I'm doing here. Here I'm making this very modular, so we can just like pass all this stuff in. Super easy. Drop down styles. What was it? Drop down styles, item choice style, item heading style. Cool. Let's just give that like a font size. Hopefully this doesn't break. Yeah, it does. Oh, I'm an idiot. Did I name that crazy? Options and options. No, just option. Option. That's all it is. Cool. Okay. That has... Right. This is all... Yeah, just buttons in there. And, okay. I feel like we might have a Z index issue with this, but we can easily fix that because... Well, maybe we can. Let's call this, let's make this like, insurance select. That's going to be my class. And we are going to go, I'm always been a fan of like the darker background, but I think going with the theme of the site, we're going to go with like a light background. We're going to go with a white background. We're going to go with this text color. Where did you go? Right here. That should go at the bottom. Cool. insurance select. Oh, I don't think I spelled that correctly. Did I? Might have. Okay. Dropdown styles is on this UL. Not sure why that isn't getting it. But, oh, probably because that's an H6. Which we actually shouldn't have here. We can just modify this. But if I wanted to put a class on this stuff for something different, totally could. I guess that's not really the point. The color should be the same, but let's do, well, here. Might as well do this right. We don't really need this span. We can just go inside of this and item heading style. We can go FS5. And now, okay, great. Those are a lot bigger. Insurance select, we can just give that like a P3. And there we go. That's looking a lot better. Let's make sure we have the right stuff doesn't get hidden. So I want to do like Z index 10. That's definitely, you know, a modal is like 999 or whatever. But I feel like for some reason, yeah, this is getting hidden underneath this. Why? I'm not sure. That's so weird. Yeah, I have no clue. No clue why that's hiding like that. Because that's going to be a big problem. Really big problem. No matter what I put for Z index, it seems to not care about it. Maybe that's just a Popper.js thing. I'm going to have to Google that. Okay, so basically after a quick Google search, it is, you got to set position to static for a dropdown. And also I didn't have my yarn, Encore wasn't watching. So nothing I was doing was even making a difference. So anyways, pretty sure we're good. Yeah, everything should be good. Now basically, we need to make all these buttons. Button drop down, and let's see. Choice label. So now we have all of these, and we just need to, I guess I'm cool with this. Maybe I want to HR someplace after the, how does that look? Oh, maybe you need something called a divider. That doesn't look good. Let's see. Divider, 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 dividers. Yeah, this one. Well, let's see what that looks like. Cool. That looks pretty good, I guess. You know, we do have some padding there. Man, that's really bugging out. Okay. Drop down divider. What if we go like empty 0, and then that kind of comes in nicely like that. I like that. Drop down divider, margin, top 0. Important because we are overriding some bootstrap stuff. And there we go. Now these buttons we called button dropdown, and we're going to do on hover, active, and active hover. So on hover, we want the background to be this color, and then we want the color to be, we're going to go with like some gray type of color. We're just going to go with like a gray text color, I guess. That's kind of dark gray. Something a little lighter. We'll go like, I don't know, like that or something, so you can still read it. Cool. If it's active, we'll go with just blue for the color. I guess I don't need this because it's not really doing anything. And if it's active hover, we're not gonna, we don't want it to change. That's where I have to put that in there. So we want it to basically stay the same. Okay, that is way too dark. Just kind of like a lighter white, really. Then we want to take this, and I want it to be full width. So I'm going to do border radius 0, and I'm going to do width 100. Oh, the padding's probably going to mess with that, though. Oh. Haha. Width 100%. Sometimes it's hard when you go and you write Sass or CSS and you just start typing out bootstrap classes. It's like, come on. Yeah, our padding's messing with us on that for the actual dropdown. So the best way to fix that is to change the, I guess, just the button padding. We're almost there, though. We almost got this right where we want it. We'll get rid of padding here. And then it's just that our heading is how does that look? Okay, cool. It's just that our heading is pushed in too much. So now we can give that heading style, we'll give it like a padding start 2, and there we go. Cool, okay. Unfortunately, these are all like text centers, so probably want to change that. But basically, you know, the whole point of this is now we have like this custom styled menu, and then, or this custom select. And in my opinion, it's a little too long. So one of the other things we can do is we can set like a max height, like, and give it a overflow scroll bar. Overflow Y auto. This might cause some issues, but let's find out. Text align left. Cool. Okay. Text align is good. Our overflow doesn't seem to be working, but I actually don't even know how big this is. It's around like 400 px, I think. Yeah, 456. Oh, that class at dropdown. It's dropdown menu. We want to add that this stuff too. I put it on dropdown divider. That's crazy. Dropdown menu. And there we go. So now we have our like scroll bars on here, and that's kind of small as it is. Just bump it up to like 300. But now there's there's all these options that we've been able to add to like do all this stuff that we couldn't do with a normal select box. We even like let's make the width like a little better too. Yeah, that looks way better. And this isn't really centered, but I think they have, yeah, center drop down. There we go. Drop down center. That's all you had. Cool. Drop down center. And we already have it included. Literally perfect. Cool. There you go. That looks just 100 times better than any select, and there's still just so many other things we could do. Basically, though, all we need to do next is add our button action. And I'm definitely going to have to Google that one again. Or, yeah. It's live components action. Maybe it's this one. Sweet. Okay. Yep. It's now in our button. And this has kind of been a pain to like get going, but it's a component that you're going to reuse for like literally the entire project. So it's okay to take some time and do something like this and make a control that's going to get used over and over again. What should we call this? Select choice, I guess. Sure, why not? We're going to want to do value, and that's going to be, yeah, choice dot value. Cool. And then we're probably going to want to add another variable in here so we can have like the active class on this button. Say if we put active on this, we're doing it on the button, not on the list item, but then that's basically what that would look like. Man, I really hate that border though. I don't know why that added that. I took it off anyways, but cool. Okay. We could also add like a little caret or a little icon if it's active. Maybe we'll do something like that. Yeah, that's basically it. We need select choice. It's funny I didn't get an error for not having this written yet. And we also have to add stuff to our arguments to make them work. Yeah, live argument. Import both of these. And then we can make default option equals label, actually, which is the other thing we need to pass in. Cool. Oh, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's trying to re-render a bunch of stuff. Shoot, and it can't do that. I remember messing with this before. Basically, you have to tell it to um, not bring a bunch of stuff, to not re-render certain things. I gotta look that up though. Okay, so basically, I was having an issue re-rendering with having that hidden form type actually going into the component because it doesn't have that stuff available to it. Um, so I guess we're gonna have to just manually add that, which is fine. And I might think of something better to do later. But anyways, for now, we do have basically everything working. Um, I needed to add writable true to active choice and default options. That way they can get set when we choose something. Um, active choice, we're going to use that with, we're going to go this active choice equals value. And then in our component, we can just go and active choice equals choice dot value. If it does, it's going to be active. If it's not, we're going to do nothing. And I might get in trouble for not. Well, that's defaulted anyways. I think that's fine. It doesn't seem like we have any issues. Wow, it's really unhappy with that though. Because I put with 100 on this. That's interesting. I think it's because there's like busting out of it before. Okay, well, that makes sense. I might just have this say something shorter and then put like a paragraph above it that's a little more explanatory. I think that's probably um, probably a better choice. And maybe we'll make this a little bit bigger. I don't like that wraps at all. That's super annoying. Cool, there we go. And we can see what's active. Oh, except that's not good. Sweet, all right. Basically got this. The only thing is, what we actually need to pass in is we're going to have to make this, because we need to use it in a form. That's the one thing we have to do. This hidden type, we're going to just have to like manually copy paste that in there. And we're going to have to name and ID. Those are going to have to get passed in as variables, which is fine. Sweet. And we'll just put that wherever, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Inputs, name. Okay. And the value for this is going to be choice value. Cool. That's basically it. This updates the value. We need to, man, I already forgot those ID and name fields. This will just basically, it's following the Symfony like kind of form variables, so that'll help us when we go and consume the form later in the controller. All that stuff's basically just going to be there for us as if it was in the form builder. So we're hijacking that a little bit, but hopefully this should not give us any issues. That's interesting. Oh, that's the CSRF token. I was like, why is that so weird? That would be why. Cool. Okay, so you can see we changed this and we have our form value here, and then all we have to do, if we look in our form in our submit controller, blah blah blah, if we dump all this out, form get, and look at something real quick, not that one. I think it's that. Well, I don't even have a submit on there, but basically that's what you would do, because that field is now part of it. So there you go. That's literally how to reinvent a select box. We're also going to have different things happen when we choose these different options here, like different things would be hidden or shown. But that is, really cool. It's like 1,000 times better than basically any select box styling that you could ever make, because you're just using buttons and a UL, and you don't have to use Bootstrap stuff either. You could just write this all out by hand, and it wouldn't be too crazy, to be honest. We could change that arrow. Even if something's active, we could show like a caret, just to give it like a little extra, a little extra something. If it's active, we can just add this. I might need to add raw to this because I don't know if this is actually going to print out. There you go. It does print out. I think they have a caret one. Let's take a look. No. Yep. Caret right fill. I must not type that right. I did not. That's crazy. Wow. There you go. Cool. That's so much cooler than anything else. But it's literally just limitless what you can end up putting inside of here. There's just so many different things. You know, there can be different checkboxes. Just because you're clicking the button, it doesn't mean you have to actually. We're just doing the select option functionality of it, of like having a field that we then can go and consume in a form submit. But it doesn't have to even do that. You can have like all these different UI controls. It's just like if you've ever used Jira for project management, their drop-down filters are like crazy. There's searches, there's tons of different things in there. So we just went over search last time, so you could have a live search inside of here if you had like a ton of options, and that's kind of what Select 2 does with jQuery. But yeah, this is just kind of like and the gateway to all that. You know, Symfony Live Component supports component nesting, so you could do all that stuff. But that's all I got for now. I hope you guys found this useful and use it instead of crappy HTML 2.0 select boxes. See ya.